This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, we will learn how to snatch the stone from the master's hand. Today we're talking about a two-player abstract strategy game called Onitama. This is the latest in the Dice Tower Essentials line. It's a quick game, 15 minutes. You're gonna be moving your pawns around, trying to exit the way of the stream or exit the way of the stone by beating the master. Let's take a look. I'll show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. I want to show off the product packaging here first. It's this big tall box. It has a magnetic lid that closes like that by itself. And when you open it up, it has some nice little artwork here and nice artwork on the front here. And when you flip this, there is the rest of the box and the rest of the components. And the actual board is not a board. It's actually a scroll, a player mat, which is very cool. It says Onitama. And you just place it out like this. And you can put it on the table. And it's a player, sort of one of those play mats, those neoprene, sort of like a mouse pad feeling thing. Really cool. And all the other pieces that come on the game fit nicely in their own little spot, a nicely designed insert. And as we slide by, let's look at the different pieces that are in the game. They are gorgeous, they look very nice, much better than the little pawns that came in the original version of this. Now the game itself is very simple. Simply there's a blue side and a red side. The blue side will start with all their pawns in the first row and their master on the stream spot. Same for the red player. The object is, how you win is you either have anybody capture the other player's master, or your master gets to the other player's stream. This is victory by way of stream, and this is victory of way of stone if you capture them. Let's talk about how the game works. At the beginning of the game, 5 random cards are placed out. Each player is going to get 2 cards in front of them, and then there's going to be a 5th card, this is the 5th one here, that goes out in between. Now, to make this shot a little bit better, I'm just going to move these cards up here so we can get a little bit closer shot. Now, the 5th card that's placed in between people, this is either going to be blue or red. That shows who goes first. Since this is blue, this is going to face the blue player because he's going to have the first move. And what happens is he's going to select one of the 2 cards in his hand to move any one of his pawns, either the pawn or the master. Now how this works is the dark square is the pawn you're moving, and the colored squares are where you could move them to. So if I chose the rabbit move, I could choose any one of these pawns, and this is where they're starting. So right now I could either, in this case, just move this guy maybe up like this from here to here, but I could have moved any of them like that. Now, I can't move any of them back because I can't go off the board, and none of these could I move to the right because you can never land on your own pawn. Now, you can move through your own pawns, but you can never land on them. So with this card, all I could do is maybe move one guy diagonally to the right. Where if I did this one, again, because it's the start of the game, I can't move these guys back. I can't move them to the right because they're either off the board or on top of each other. This one would be moving them to the left. So maybe what I do is I use this card, the eel, and I take this and I move this guy up to the left using this move here. What I do then is I take this card, I will then flip it towards the opponent, and I will put it into the middle so it faces him. I will take the middle card here. This is a card that I will get to be using next turn. These are my 2 choices. But now I know that after the next player's move, or basically within 3 moves from now, he's going to be able to use this card. So whatever card you use, you need to be careful because it's going to end up going into the middle, and that player's going to grab that card after their next turn. They can't use it this very next turn, but after their next move, they're going to grab that. It's going to be in their arsenal for a future turn. Now it's the opponent's turn. Now let's say he uses the horse. He's going to use this pawn here and just move him straight up because there's not a whole lot of options at the beginning of the game with this. And he's going to take this, replace the eel card with it facing the opponent, and now he has the eel. So next turn, he can use that eel. The horse that he just used goes here, and that will get brought after the next player's next turn. That's sort of the flow of how the game works. If at any time one player's pawn captures another player's pawn, it's removed. If a player's pawn captures the leader, you do that by just going on there, the game's over. The other way the game can end, as I mentioned earlier, is when you move your master onto the stream, the game is over. That's simply how the game's played. Now, one of the most interesting things about this game is we dealt out 5 of these cards at the beginning of the game, but there's 16 and every game is random. Let's look at some of these other cards. Here's all the other cards that are in the game. So as we see, look at this dragon. It's kind of cool. It almost looks like a dragon's wing, but you can go, you can move to all these different spaces from here. I like the monkey. The monkey's cool because he gets to go diagonal. The tiger's cool because he gets to jump 2 ahead or 1 back. Elephant's cool, he moves kind of slow, but he moves in this little square pattern. The crab can jump far side to side. The rooster can kind of go in this weird Tetris looking thing, and the goose does the same, but it's kind of backwards. The crane does some interesting things. So they're all quite different, which makes every game completely different, and that's how you play Onitama. Over 2 years ago, back at Gen Con 2013, I was sitting at a hotel with Tom Vassell and Z Garcia the night before Gen Con opened. Tom brought out this game called Onitama. It was this little black box, tiny, and he sat down with Z and he said, Z, you gotta check this out. So I sat over their shoulders watching them play it, and as soon as Z finished his first game, he went, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I watched him play. I didn't actually play it that night, but I watched it, and even watching how excited they were, I looked at the game and I went, another 2-player abstract game. And the components looked bad, the artwork was kind of cool, but it just wasn't that interesting, and it just looked like a bland 2-player abstract strategy game. Fast forward to last year, where I went to Dice Tower Con, and I got a chance to really sit down and play this a gazillion times, and I fell in love with it. I'm not someone that typically likes these pure abstract strategy games. I don't enjoy chess or things that are like that, but sometimes I like things that have sort of chess-y elements. This is pretty much like a beginner version of chess. Now, there's plenty of millions of games out there that say, hey, this is just like chess, but, and they do a twist. This is better than chess because, and I've played some of those and I still haven't liked any of those. This doesn't claim to be chess, but I'm saying that. This is sort of a chessy feeling game, but it is so simple and I know this word gets thrown out a lot in this industry, elegant, and it kind of gets overused. It's actually even used on the box of this game, but this game really is just simple and elegant, and I love it. I love that the moves are easy. You've got 2 choices in front of you. But it's not just that, because you've got, okay, well, if I do this now, that's going to give him a card. He'll be able to do this 3 turns from now. And one of his 2 cards, he's going to have to give to me for next turn for a future turn. So if you want to, you can try to think a few moves ahead, which is cool, but the board's small. There's only a few pawns. So it's all very much contracted, but it's very cool. It plays very fast. It's simple, but man, there's a lot to think about. My gosh, I am in love with this game. This is probably my favorite 2-player quick abstract game. If someone came over and says, hey, I never liked chess, but I'd like to try one of these abstract games and be a quicker one, this would be the one I pull out. And even if someone didn't say they wanted to play chess, and it was a 2-player game, it's like, hey, we got 10 minutes, wait for someone to show up. Oh, let me pull this out. And I'll just pull it out because I haven't seen this go poorly for anybody. I've seen everybody really like this game. The quickness, the elegance, and the replayability value is so awesome in this game. When you shuffle those 16 cards and only 5 of them are being used, every game is gonna feel different because you're constantly looking at those different combinations, and I love how it feels different yet simple. You can bang out a bunch of these games in a row. I really love this game. This actually made my top 10 most anticipated games of 2016. And the reason was that because I already knew I loved the game, but I also had known what they were kind of doing with the box and the scroll and the mouse pad looking thing. Now I know some gamers are going to complain about the box. It doesn't fit on my shelf. Get off my lawn. Too bad. You know what? This is really intended for those stores like Barnes & Noble where it needs to jump off the shelf and look different, and it does. So who cares if it doesn't fit on your shelf? Who cares if it doesn't fit on my shelf well? It's gonna look cool in the stores, and that's what really matters because they're trying to sell a game. I understand some people are gonna be upset about that, but tough. I think the box is cool, and they made that box size so that the scroll could open up, and I think that is awesome. The sculpts are cool. They did an amazing job with the production. It looks much better than the original Japanese version did, and I gotta say the components are awesome. I love that scroll. The box is cool, even though some people won't like it. Amazing game, and I love it so much. I'm going to be keeping it in my collection. So let's induct it into my gaming library with a saxophone serenade.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for backing me on Kickstarter, making this season become a reality. I'd like to especially thank those here that have backed me at the credit level. Now, these video reviews are also available by audio on our podcast. It's the intros and the final thoughts on GameBoyGeek.com. Click podcast.